Good evening everybody. It is Monday night and we're racing once again here at SARCO. It is the World Tour. It is round number 6 and we head to Ruapuna Park in the Ford V8 Falcon, the supercars. And the reason we've been able to get away with that is because they drive these cars in Australia, and the closest we could get is in New Zealand for the circuit, and it's fitting. So definitely a part of our World Tour. We do have 11 drivers lined up ready to have a go. And we've got James, who is in the driver's seat. Rafiki, he's got first dibs here this evening. Tyron Myberg, he's also ready to go. And we've got a ground hornbill saying hello, talks. Guys, the drivers are ready. We are going to jump straight in there to try and keep our proceedings running on time this evening. But here we go, round number 1. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, we are going to be going into the first heat. It is a 15-minute race around this New Zealand track. We are on the club circuit, and the crazy thing about this track, it is very tight. There's not much a runoff, and the time penalties on this track are very unforgiving. Lots and lots of places to make a mistake. Coming through into turn number 1, it is a slight kink, and generally what happens is get on the brakes, your car locks up, you understeer, and that generally throws you off turn number 2. You go into the Castrol straight into turn number 3, which is the pothole, and the reason it's called a pothole is just on the exit there's a nice little hole there, and if you find yourself there, you generally make your way back to the infield with the car very out of control. Into turn number 4, then we join back through the circuit, missing out turns 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, going to the dipper, and then we join back at turn number 10 through the rock sweeper. And that is the short lap. We will be going into the full GP race directly after this, when we go into a 30-minute race. Drivers here this evening, Ricky B currently on a pole position with Killer Dave in a second. We've got Ian in third. That is Raphael. He's in fourth. Talks, then St. Jim, James, Reese, Tyron, Mafira. And here we go off the line, and there's a great start there for Ricky B with Killer D right next to him. We have given the guys some warning to please just be cautious coming into turn number 1, because it's actually turn number 2 where's a problem. Already we see a driver going onto the dirt there and losing the rear, some contact a little bit further down, but Ricky B now leading this his way here. Just getting a bit of feedback here. Duncan, how's it? I'm getting lots and lots of feedback from your microphone there, sir.
Hang on, I'll mute it for a few minutes.
So you can see here through what's effectively turns 4, 5 and 6, very tight corners there. The track is very narrow. You can see a little kick off the rear there as James got into the power, and Tyron now gonna slide the car up in third place. That was Raf just making a little mistake there, locking up, and looks like he went a little bit wide into the turn 10. You can hear the guys using the gears as he brakes, and Tyron spin there for him. Raf is going to go past, Reese is going past. Here comes Killer Dave. That's Ian Parsons. Ooh, little look through the inside. And so Jim has now got himself through, with Memo now rejoining this little battle, and you can see the little pothole there, what I mentioned earlier. Memo going to have a look to the inside, little lock up there. Enough space for 2 cars, a little squeeze out there. Little rubbing going through that little section, but nothing too untoward there. A little run wide there for Tyron, as Memo now moves himself up into 8th place. But out in front, Ricky B already got himself a 5-second gap. So currently Reese having a nice little battle with James, and James in his blue car. We know that he does have a blue car in real life, and we do find a lot of the drivers will pick those liveries that they can relate to in the real world. But now we've got a nice battle starting to build here. This is for 4th, 5th and 6th place, and this is such a tricky section here, as Silverback just missing out, and little James looked like he had disappeared, but popped straight back into the track, and it's always very interesting when that happens. Reese getting that power on, just overcooked it too much. He's lost the rear, and just managing to miss Ian as Ian went past around on the outside. So James in 4th place is looking to close up on Raphael ahead of him. Raphael in 3rd place. I do see Tyron, he's putting some pressure on the back of Reese there. In through pothole. And what makes this car so difficult to drive is that the track is so tight, it is so narrow. There's just so much power that it does make it very tricky to keep this car going where you want it to go. And that is just one of the things that part of the criteria is we couldn't force fit a track. We had to find a car and track combination that would have fitted the World Tour. So this is the wild card of the event, but at least is as close as possible. So James being chased down by Ian, and James trying to close up that gap between himself and Raphael. It was down to a second, but now coming out of turn number 2, that gap has extended now to 1.6 seconds.